Hello everyone and welcome to this Yin Yoga practice. This is going to be a bit of a shorter practice today. Normally our Yin is anything from an hour to an hour and a half. So if you do feel that there are any of the poses that you would like to hold for longer, you can pause the video and then just set your own timer. I like to use the timer on my phone. That works pretty well. And then hold the pose for as long as you feel you need it today. And then you can continue with the video when you are ready. I use a block to support my practice. You can use a block as well if you have one available. Even if you have two blocks, that's great as well. Otherwise, a folded blanket works well. Maybe even a thick book if you do feel that you need a little bit of extra support, or maybe a cushion depending on how you want to use it today. Okay, so just get whatever you need, roll out your mat, put on something comfortable, and then let's do this Yin Yoga practice together. For our first asana today, we will do Thunderbolt. So you might need some support here if you do feel that the knees or the quadriceps are really tight. So we sit with the buttocks on the heels, and you can bring the heels to the sides of the hips, maybe one big toe resting on the other big toe. You can use your block here to sit up on your block, maybe two blocks, or a folded blanket or a cushion, whichever you've brought with or you've got with you. Your knees don't have to be together. You can bring a little bit of space between the knees. And if you feel that today this is really not happening for you, your knees are just not happy with this pose, you can come to seated. Then just hug your knees in towards you. If you want to make some space between the knees, you can do that, or you can hug the knees in closer together. And then just wrap your arms around. And we want the spine to be nice and long and the shoulders to be relaxed. Okay, so choose the version of the pose that will work for you today. We'll take a few minutes here at the beginning of the practice using this pose just to start to down regulate. So notice the sensations that you feel in your body. Allow your spine to grow nice and long. Your shoulders and your face is relaxed. Allow your arms to just rest wherever it works for you. Your hands resting on your lap, palm facing up or down, or maybe you've got your hands wrapped around your knees. That's a really nice and comfortable, good place to be as well. If you do feel that you are in a comfortable and safe space, you can gently close your eyes. Otherwise, just keeping your gaze on a steady spot to focus on is also good. Just don't allow your eyes to wander. We want to start to turn the focus inwards. Notice that you are breathing. We want to bring the attention of the breath to the nose. So breathing in and out through the nose. Breathing through your nose is the first line of defense for your immune system. So I want to encourage you during the day as well, if you notice that you are breathing through your mouth, just to shift that and breathe through your nose. It's a really good habit to cultivate. Got another minute here. Remember that you are allowed to move and adjust yourself if you do need to make the pose a little bit more comfortable. So we want to feel something. We want to feel a stretch or pressure on the joints and the ligaments, but we never want to push that boundary into pain. So you want to be able to hold it without creating unnecessary strain. Keeping a nice and easy focus on the breath, just allowing the breath to be easy. You don't need to worry too much about where you are breathing. Just allow it to be natural. In a few seconds, we will start coming out of the pose. Okay, so let's take a deep inhale in together. And then as you exhale, you can slowly open your eyes if they're not open already. And then gently come out of the pose. make your way into tabletop. If you feel you need to straighten the legs, you can straighten one leg and then the other, just bringing a little bit of life back into the limbs, straightening out the knees. Okay, and from here, bring the knees in line with the hips. And then we're going to move into a needle thread. So we'll bring the left arm underneath the right, bringing that left shoulder down towards the floor. And if you feel you need to bring the floor a little bit closer to you, you can rest your shoulder on a block or on a folded blanket. Maybe propping your head up on a fist. Or if your shoulder reaches, but you find your head is kind of hanging in mid-air and it's uncomfortable, you can prop your head up on a block as well. So just adjusting the pose in any way that works for you, that you feel you need today. Some days we do a pose and it's easy, and other times we do the pose and the body needs a little bit more support. So allow yourself that. Be aware of your body and what it needs, and then do what is right. Again, just staying with that awareness on the breath. So allowing yourself to draw nice, deep, even breaths, maybe starting to shift into a longer breath if the breath allows. Just don't force it. You don't need to strain to create longer breaths. And again, just checking that you're breathing in and out through the nose. Put another 30 seconds. And we're gently going to release. So lift your head, use the support of your right hand to bring yourself back up to tabletop. And then we gently thread through the other side. So right arm now underneath the left. Use the support on this side if you need it. Lowering yourself down, easing into the pose, being gentle. We never want to use unnecessary force in any of these poses. And remember, you can always come out of any of the poses sooner. You don't need to stay in a pose that's not serving you today. And just checking in with the jaw and the shoulders, that you're keeping everything nice and soft and relaxed. And we'll take a last few breaths here before we disengage. Okay, and then we're very mindfully going to come out of the pose, so pushing into that left hand, lift your head up, gently come out of the twist, and we're back in tabletop. From here, bring your right leg forward. You can walk that back knee back a little bit to feel a little bit more of a stretch in the back quadricep. And then you can bring both hands to the inside of your front leg. Maybe walking that front foot out to the side a little bit if you need a bit more space. You can stay high up on the hands here. You can use your block if you want to bring the earth a little bit closer to you. Maybe even releasing down onto your elbows, onto the block or onto the floor. This front foot can be as close to your body as you want to. So if you want to bring it in a little bit closer, leaning a little bit more forward, maybe feeling a bit of compression in the front of this ankle, you can do that, or you can work it out and walk it out a little bit further away from you. So there really is no set formula. It just depends on your level of mobility and flexibility and your proportions. So find the pose or the version of the pose that works best for you. Again, we're going to stay here for about 1.5 minutes to 2 minutes, keeping your breath in and out through your nose. And kind of holding that soft awareness. So keeping with the focus on the breath and the sensations of the body, but not passing any judgment. So we're just creating that awareness and observing. Easy breaths in and out through the nose. Keeping the jaw and the shoulders soft. We'll take a last few breaths here. And then we're very slowly and mindfully going to disengage. So you can lift your head, come back up onto your hands if you are on your elbows or on your support. And then very slowly and gently and mindfully bring that back knee in a little bit closer, and then make your way back into tabletop. And we'll swap sides. So bring the left foot forward, walking the foot out, maybe a little bit out to the side, maybe a little bit more forward, and walk the right knee back until you feel a bit of a stretch on that back hip flexor. So then do what's right for this side. So if the side has got a little bit more mobility or openness and you can come down to the elbows on this side, you can do that. You don't have to do the same on both sides. So we very often have one side that's more restricted, maybe we've had an injury, so then we do what's right for that side. So just keeping that awareness in your body of your needs, whatever is happening in the present moment and today, letting go of any expectations of where we think we need to be or what we think we need to be able to do. So just keeping that soft awareness of where you are, what you are feeling, sensations in your body, in your breath. And that is the practice. So we remind ourselves to keep coming back to that. See if you can start to find a little bit of stillness. Noticing when you want to fidget or move. And then kind of leaning into that moment We'll take a last few breaths here. And then we're very mindfully and gently going to disengage, so you can lift your head, come up onto your hands. Bring that back knee in a little bit closer, and then make your way back into tabletop. Then we'll walk the knees back, releasing all the way down onto our belly, coming into Sphinx pose. You can give your lower back some space by separating the feet. So you don't have to bring your feet together. I sometimes like to just gently engage the glutes just to support that lower back. I find when I relax everything, it really dumps into my lower back. So find the adjustment that works. You can bring your elbows in and then take hold of your elbows with your hands. Shoulders relax down and away from the ears. You can bring your gaze forward, or you can support your forehead on your block or on support if you have. So we're coming into spinal extension. If at any stage you feel that this pose becomes too much for your back or your spine, and you notice that you are holding or tensing anywhere in your body, then you want to gently release down onto your mat, maybe stacking the hands underneath the forehead. And then you can always come back to the pose when you are ready, when you feel you can stay in it for a little bit longer. Otherwise, you can let go of the pose for today. There will always be another practice or another time where we can come back to it. Coming back to the breath, if you notice that your mind is wandering, keeping the jaw and the neck and the shoulders relaxed, feeling the opening of the front body, the spine gently bending backwards. We'll take a last few breaths here before we disengage. Okay, and on your next inhalation, you can lift your head. Very, very gently release your elbows, release all the way down onto the belly, bringing the forehead down onto the floor just for a moment. Can send the breath into the lower body, expanding into the back, especially there where you felt this posture the most. Okay, and then from here, bring your hands in underneath your shoulders. Inhale to push up to tabletop, or you can roll onto your side and make your way to seated like that. Walk your knees forward, and let's come to seated. Stretch your legs out in front of you. Bring the feet a little wider, drop the toes out to the sides, and then we'll bring the soles of the feet to touch, coming into butterfly. Okay, maybe a gentle rock from side to side. If you feel you do need support and you have got it with you, you can place blocks underneath your knees, maybe cushions. You don't have to tuck your heels too close in towards you. You can keep a little bit of space, and we want to try and make sure that the pelvis is tilting slightly backwards. So you don't want to be tucking in the pelvis and rounding it in. So you want to push it outwards a little bit. Holding onto your toes or your legs, whatever is comfortable. We'll inhale. And then as you exhale, start leaning forward, leading with the heart. Try and keep the spine straight for as far as you can go. Notice where your edge is, so when you start to feel the stretch the most and you can't go any further, then you can take another inhalation. And then as you exhale, allow your spine to round and your head to drop down towards your feet. Sometimes the stretch can be quite intense for the neck and the upper back. You can use a block then, placing it on your feet or on the floor, just depending on your proportions and how far into the pose you are. You can turn the palms to face up to remind yourself not to draw yourself in unnecessarily deep, just allowing it to be soft. Allow gravity to draw you down. Take a deep inhale in and then exhale, allowing yourself to soften and to relax a little bit more. Last few breaths here. And on your next inhalation, gently lift your head. You can turn your palms to face down and then use your hands to walk yourself back up, slowly and mindfully. You've got a straight spine, you can bring your hands to the outsides of your knees. Help your knees in together. And then we're slowly going to roll down, holding onto your knees, round your spine, tuck in your chin, and roll all the way down onto your mat. Straightening your spine, keeping the knees bent. We'll bring the ankles and the knees together. You can interlace your fingers and bring your hands behind your head. The elbows are pointing out to the sides. If this is a lot for your shoulders, you can just bring them out to the sides, maybe cactus arms with the backs of the hands resting on the floor. You can bring them down and rest them on your body. So just do what feels best for you today. Inhale here. And then as you exhale, gently drop both your knees over to the right, maybe shifting onto that right hip to come into a twist. The knees can separate. Try and keep your feet and your ankles together, maybe even holding on to that top knee if that helps with a little bit of extra support and control in the twist. And you can turn your head to look over the left shoulder. Remembering to stay with your breath. We'll take a last few breaths here before we disengage. And on your next inhalation, bring both your knees back up to center. Re-straighten your spine on the mat, shifting yourself back to center, adjusting your arms if you need to. Inhale, and then exhale, drop both knees over to the other side. Again, the knees can separate, try and keep your feet and your ankles together, maybe shifting onto the left hip to help you to twist a little bit more comfortably. Shoulders are grounded, and then you can turn your head to look over the right shoulder. And surrender and relax into your twist on the other side. Just checking in with the toes and the legs. Relaxing them, your hips, your abdomen, relaxing and softening the chest and the shoulders, your neck and your jaw, and keeping the face nice and soft and relaxed. Sometimes tension creeps back in without you even noticing. So then we consciously bring the attention there and allow it to relax and release, keeping our mind focused on the sensations of the asana and on the breath moving in and out through the nose. We'll gently disengage. On your next inhalation, bring both your knees back up to center, straightening yourself out. Release your hands if they are behind your head or above you. Maybe gently bring the knees in towards you, rocking from side to side. And from here, bringing your feet back down onto the mat. Straighten one leg and the other. And we are in Shavasana. Bring your arms out to the sides, taking up as much space as you want. Allowing the palms to face up. Snuggle your shoulder blades in underneath you to open up that heart space. Shoulders and your face relaxed. Everything is easy. Breathing easily in and out through the nose. Your legs are relaxed. Your feet are just allowed to flop out to the sides. Entire length of your body surrendering to gravity. Allowing yourself to be drawn deeper into your mat. Take a deep inhale. And as you exhale, feel an imaginary blanket of quiet and ease and love settling down over you. And you can stay here for as long as you need. I am going to sign off and leave you here. So I'll bring my hands together. Bring back my thumbs to rest on my eyebrow center. Thank you so much for sharing this practice with me. And I'll greet you with namaste.